Welcome back to Hardball. Republicans are out there criticizing President Obama for heading off to Copenhagen tonight to lobby for Chicago to host the 2016 Olympics. That's 8 years from now, when issues like health care reform and are all heating up here in Washington. Here's the latest line of attack from House Minority Leader John Boehner. It's today.
While the president is in Copenhagen tomorrow, the American people are going to wake up and find out that hundreds of thousands more Americans have lost their job. The administration's trillion-dollar stimulus plan clearly is not working.
So is the president right to make a personal pitch for Chicago? We have joining us around Eugene Robinson of the Washington Post. He's used to dealing on bigger issues than this. And Michael Smerconish. Oh, my God, look at this guy. He's got a Phillies costume on. Congratulations to the Phillies. Our hometown team is now division champions in the National League East for the third straight year. Now they got to play the Rockies, right, Michael?
Sooner or later, yeah.
Okay,
I was afraid you wouldn't say it if I didn't wear the jacket.
No, I don't. I don't mind a little coaxing, but thank you for that. Let's go to. I wore the whole jacket. I wore the hat the whole time they won the series. Look, let's go to the big question: is the president looking too much like a Babbitt, a booster, a local yokel by going to Chicago? You first, Gene.
Well,
he's over there tonight.
Am I supposed to play the role of a Republican here tonight?
You're supposed to play the art.
No, but I actually, on balance, I would have skipped the trip. Basically because I think it's a win for Obama if Chicago, his hometown, gets the Olympics. I don't think they're going to get him. I think.
But if they lose a close call and the word gets out that they lost the bid to bring the Olympics to Chicago and to America in 2016, and it goes to Rio instead, would he be blamed then for not trying?
No,
is this for the try or for the win?
He wouldn't be blamed for not trying, although this is the first time that a president has gone to.
Well, Tony Blair apparently went to Singapore back in before the 2012 Olympics, and he won it for London, Michael. So apparently it works, this boosterism. Show up, you win it for your country.
Listen, his skill set is such that he thrives on the world stage. Why would you make the case not to go when potentially there's $20 billion at stake? If the issue were different, if it were a widget factory in China, that we had the prospect of relocating to Illinois, everyone would say the president should make that trip. So why should it be different because it's the Olympics? And Chris, there's going to be criticism of him on everything, but this is a phony, no disrespect to Gene, but this is a phony argument. And it's reminiscent of when he wanted to deliver a speech on accountability in schools. And some people said, oh, we can't have that. There'll be indoctrination involved. You got to pick and choose your battles. I think the GOP looks poor for taking him on this issue.
Isn't jobs a big issue in this country, Gene? I hope by 2016 we're out of this recession, but isn't the idea of being a booster, a member of the JCs, of the Lions Club, isn't that very Republican to be out there pushing for the hometown?
Well, it is to be pushing for the hometown. Most Americans don't live in Chicago, though. Oh. And I just
but
wonder
we'll like to have it here.
Well, they'd like to have it here. It's certainly more convenient. I just wonder how it plays politically across the country, and I wonder if the Republicans get any traction with Obama plays while America burns kind of
24 hours.
24 hours.
Michael, let's go back to your larger point, so I think we can broaden this discussion. Are the Republicans attacking on too many fronts? Are they being gnats?
Chris, I can tell you as one who spends literally 6 hours a day answering telephone calls on 2 different national radios, phone calls from across the country, the mere mention of the president's name will draw negative telephone calls regardless of the issue from certain quarters. And I don't think that the president can govern by worrying about what that fringe element is going to say on tomorrow's program. So for that, and the other point that needs to get made, this is Air Force One. This is not the 3 of us flying coach on U.S. Airways. So whatever he needs to do, it's at his disposal all the way there and all the way back. He'll be back for dinner tomorrow night.
I think let's get to this larger point. Let's get out of the world of the Olympics for a second. It seems to me he's going over. It's done. Spilt milk. Okay, let's agree it's over. He'll be back tomorrow. We can argue about something else. But it does seem like the Republicans are turning on their Tommy guns and hitting him on every front. He's given the Iranians today 2 weeks to clean up, to show up, and give us transparent look, unfettered look at their facilities and comb. What more do they want? 10 days notice, a week's notice, 2 weeks.
Right. No, I think that's hard to argue with. And yes, the approach of the Republican Party has been to throw everything against the wall they possibly can and see what sticks. And
who's this woman, Bachmann? I don't want to say anything against her. I'm going to let you guys say it. A congresswoman. She's been elected. She represents the people. I look up to her for being elected, for running, and all those good things. But she's out there saying that this call for clinics in schools, which I've been pushing for years. I want every public school in this country to have a good clinic. I want dental. I want everything. I want to make sure they get the vaccinations, everything. Because by the time they're out of public school, they're healthy and used to good health, and it's good for everybody. She says this is a backdoor to secret abortions, and she's just come up with this.
That's crazy. I mean, maybe you can't say it, but I can say it. That's crazy. That's lunacy.
Why is there a tenor out there which anything thrown at the president will score a point back home? This guy Mike Rogers hitting him for giving Iran 2 weeks notice, which I think is pretty tough. And now somebody out there screaming abortion, abortion, abortion. And I care about that issue, but I don't like being tricked.
Well, as Mark said, there is an element there, and it's not a majority. It's not even a majority of the Republican Party. But there's an element that is receptive to any criticism of Barack Obama, and that denies, in some sense, his legitimacy.
Michael, I think it's pin the tail on the donkey. That's all it is high school. Your thought?
Well, Chris, it's also a fundraising vehicle. You know, if it's Joe Wilson shouting out, "You lied," if it's this guy Grayson in Florida, I predict he'll raise $300,000-$400,000 from people who are supportive of that view. Michelle Bachmann, the more you run that image of her on television, on cable tonight, the more money she'll raise. And they've got to run every 2 years. I think they get rewarded, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, that's the price we pay, Michael. I hope the Phillies get to the series with the Yankees. That will be the big show of our lifetime. Thank you, Eugene Robinson. Thank you, Michael Smerconish.